AP had an article. One Stunning Afternoon, it's called. Setbacks Imperil the Biden Presidency. It was an hour President Joe Biden would no doubt like to forget. On Friday, the Pentagon acknowledged that a drone strike in Afghanistan that we were told killed ISIS-K members killed 10 civilians, including 7 children, and no terrorists. And we touched on this briefly on Friday. And obviously it's kind of sat and festered a little bit more, and questions were flying today at both the Pentagon briefing and the White House briefing. So let's start at the Pentagon. John Kirby came out before he took questions and said that the guy that Joe Biden can't remember his name, who runs the department that Joe Biden can't remember what department he runs, which would be the Secretary of Defense, Lloyd Austin.
You mean that fellow over there?
Yeah, the fellow over there that I will keep calling General, as Biden says, has issued a review of this drone strike. So John Kirby came out, cut one, Gene. Here's what he said about it. Roll it.
The other question I had for you was whether you could discuss any further the question of accountability for the Kabul strike that General McKenzie described on Friday, and he mentioned very briefly that there was an accountability aspect to the investigation. Is Secretary Austin involved in some way? Can you elaborate on that?
The Secretary has asked the Secretary of the Air Force to task a senior flag or general officer at the rank of 3-star or above to conduct a review of the Central Command investigation, the same investigation that General McKenzie read out to you guys on Friday. Part of that review will be to examine the investigation itself, the thoroughness of the investigation, to study the degree to which any policies, procedures, or targeting mechanisms may need to be altered going forward, if any, and of course to then take a look at what levels of accountability might be appropriate, and if so, at what level. So that'll be part of this review, and the Secretary has asked for the Secretary of the Air Force to nominate somebody for that, and then to have that review done within 45 days of the tasking of the individual reviewer.
Does that, on the question of accountability, does that 3-star or above officer have the authority to initiate action, or only just recommend?
It would be to review the investigation and to make recommendations based on that review, not necessarily to take action. This would be a senior Air Force officer. So if there's accountability to be held, the decisions about who and what would be done would be a separate consideration.
Yeah.
Just gobbledygook.
Yeah, John Kirby's good at that. It's a lot of just nothing.
I mean, the first part he's talking about, well, we're going to investigate the investigation. Huh? Okay. And, it just goes down the hill from there.
I mean, obviously, what goes into these kind of things is way beyond my ability to comprehend. But just on its surface, it just looks like there's nothing this administration can do that they don't screw up.